Hello friends, welcome to sidza.com. Now in this video we will learn about the reaction intermediates. What are reaction intermediates? Normally when we write down a reaction, we write down reactants and we write down the products, right? So in any chemical equation, you have reactants and the products. But when we look at the most of the reactions, most of the organic reactions, we find that reactants do not directly convert into products. Rather, reactants first convert into some intermediates, right? Intermediate compounds, intermediate species, which are called as the reaction intermediates. And those reaction intermediates then convert into products. And what type of a product is formed depends on the type of an intermediate which is formed during the reaction. So in any chemical reaction, we normally write down reactants and products, but we don't mention about the intermediates because these are the compounds which are formed during the reaction and also consumed during the reaction. So these reaction intermediates here, right? These reaction intermediates are very much unstable and their lifetime is very less, right? Okay, they have a very short life period. Okay, they have a very short life period. These are highly unstable and they exist for a very less time period, and the type of product which is formed depends on the type of an intermediate. Now let's take here an example. Suppose I got a carbon which is attached with the chlorine here, and say there are alkyl groups attached to it. So when you react this particular compound with the potassium hydroxide in the aqueous medium, so what happens here? The hydroxide group substitutes the chlorine here from the compound, and you get the product like this. You get the alcohol, OH. Okay, so here the chlorine is replaced by the OH and you get potassium chloride, right? So here this is a substitution reaction actually. Hydroxide group is replacing the chlorine. Okay, hydroxide group replaces the chlorine and you get alcohol. So these are the reactants and these are the products. But the reaction doesn't occur like this, in one step. So what actually happens here? First of all, the chlorine is removed from the carbon, right? The chlorine is removed with the electron pair, and therefore the carbon gets a positive charge. In this particular reaction, you get a carbocation. Okay, carbon with positive charge. Why? Because in the first step, the chlorine is lost, right? So with the loss of chlorine as Cl negative here, when both electrons which are being shared by the carbon and the chlorine, when the chlorine takes both these electrons, so you get a carbocation. And then in the next step, the hydroxide group, OH negative ion here, the hydroxide group attacks on it, and what do you get? You get alcohol. So this is an intermediate here, right? This particular carbon with the positive charge, which is called as a carbocation, this is a reaction intermediate, right? This is a reaction intermediate. So we can say here that reaction intermediates are very short-lived species which are formed during the reaction and also consumed during the reaction. Now what are the different types of intermediates? If you look at the different kinds of intermediates that we get, the most common intermediates in the organic chemistry are carbocations, carbanion, or free radicals. Okay, carbon free radicals. So these are the three most important. There are some other intermediates as well, right? Like there are carbenes, okay, there are nitrines also. Carbene is also there. Another intermediate is called the nitrine. So we have to study all these intermediates one by one. Okay. So carbocation, carbanion, carbon free radicals. These are the most important, most common intermediates. Carbenes and nitrines are also there, right? And how are these intermediates formed, right? These are formed by different ways, different methods. So we will discuss, about all these intermediates in detail, right? we will discuss about the carbocation. We'll take a couple of videos on the carbocation. Similarly, we'll discuss carbanions also and the carbon free radicals. So in next few videos we will discuss about these intermediates one by one. Now, one more thing. What we have to study about these carbocations, about these reaction intermediates, whether it is a carbocation, carbanion or a free radical, we have to study. In next few videos we will discuss about all these intermediates. Number one point will be how they are formed, right? That means we will discuss about their formation. Suppose how this particular carbocation is formed, what type of a bond fission occurs there, what are the reagents that we use to get a carbocation, right? So we will discuss about the formation, right? Formation of carbocation, formation of carbanion, and the carbon free radicals. Similarly, we will discuss about their structure, right? What is the structure of a carbocation? What is the structure of a carbanion or the carbon free radical? Similarly, we will also discuss about the stability order, right? Stability order. This one is the most important point, right? This stability order. If you have suppose 2 or 3 types of carbocations, so how you would arrange them in their order of the stability. To understand the stability order of the different carbocations, different carbanions, we have to actually understand certain important concepts. So before we take these intermediates one by one, we have to discuss certain effects, right? Certain important concepts. And what are those concepts? It is inductive effect, resonance effect, hyperconjugation, electromagnetic effect. So we can explain the stability of all those intermediates with the help of these 4 important effects. Inductive effect is the one, resonance effect is the second, hyperconjugation is third, the fourth one is electromagnetic effect. So these are the most important concepts in the organic chemistry, and first we will go through over these effects, these 4 important electron displacement methods, we also call them, right? These are the electron displacement methods in the covalent compounds. These are the 4 important things that will help us to understand the stability, the relative stability of the different types of reaction intermediate. Hope you got the concept. Thanks for watching the video. Bye for now.